Everything in our garage is inspired by our racing spirit. Race in for a great deal on the Honda CR-V. Only at the Honda Dream Garage Spring Event.
Welcome back to Mid-Ohio. What a change in the last hour or so. It has changed dramatically. You can see the clouds for yourself. We did hear that was going to be storms in the area throughout the weekend, but we turn to our Formula Regional final race of the weekend, and I'm delighted to welcome into the commentary booth for this race a man who's been at it all weekend long. His name, Ryan Shehan, and he hails from Austin, Texas, just like myself. But he's the real deal. And he has been doing the real deal stuff in F4 this weekend because he's been on the podium and he scored some big points. He just came away from a podium in the last race with a damaged car, I may add. And let's head down, though. We'll talk to him in a moment, but I just wanted to give you an idea who's going to be with me. But let's head straight down to the pre-grid because Ben Sissel is down there getting ready to tell us who we're about to watch.
Well, man, thank you so much because a lot of excitement has happened since we were last on in just an hour. The skies have opened up at Mid-Ohio. It rained hard for about 3 minutes. Now it's stopped, and the strategies have all changed. We're in FR, Formula Regional Americas. We talked about F4. You can see a bigger front wing. Then there's these little winglets here. There's the brake ducts. But notice Raul Hyman, who's had a great weekend on reins. It looks like from the naked eye, half of the field is on reins, half of them aren't. That's going to be the huge strategy as we're going. Raul just shut off his engine. The other big differences here are these air ducts, these air inlets, especially this halo here. Adds a little bit more rigidity, but also the safety factors to these FR cars. And then it's a K20 Honda engine, but this one has a turbo. There's a lot more downforce, a lot more aero in these cars, making it, from what I've heard from Ernie Francis Jr. and other drivers, a lot harder to pass because the aero wash that comes out. Then we've got Indy, two-time Indy 500 winner right here, Al Unser Jr., who was talking to Mac Clark. Mac Clark is going out in slicks because Al sees that a dry line is forming. So what were you telling your driver, Al?
Just to be super careful there at the beginning of the race until it dries out. We feel that the rain has stopped, and so as long as he keeps it going straight, he can let the guys go with rain tires on, and once it dries out, then we'll have the advantage.
Nice. You hear that? Because he thinks if people have to come and put on dries, that's going to take a long time for them to go into the pits, change their tires. So great advice from Matt Clark. Starting second, it's just he's going to have to be patient enough to let the guys go by probably that are on wets, because right behind Matt Clark with Future Star Racing is Dylan Tavella, who's been really fast with us. He won a race at NOLA this year, and obviously Dylan's rain tires actually look less worn than Raul's. Raul's weren't wearing these little hairs from the manufacturer like Dylan's are. So Dylan's going to go out there in the wets. And then it looks like everybody behind Matt Clark up until about 8th or 9th position are on slicks. So Dylan, what has your team told you about the rains and the tire line and the driving line out there? Is it wet? Is it drying?
Well, I have a first-hand experience here in the rain, and so I know what to do in these situations, and hopefully we can get the job done today.
Nice. He says he knows what to do in these situations, and we can get the job done today. We'll move up here just a little bit. Jason Alder, who just called the F4 race. We've got 5 minutes on the grid. They're going to fire up their engines. Drive for Diabetes Awareness there with Jason Alder. He looks pretty game-faced. He's got brand new Hankook race rain tires on. Nick Persing, rain tires, and I'm doing this also for the commentators because I feel like this is going to be such a big part of the story. So Ryan Shehan, Jonathan Green, Nick Persing is on reins. Cooper Becklett seems to be on rain tires with Hankook rain tires all around, obviously. We're getting good shots from that from Tony. Cooper Becklin with Crosslink Kiwi Motorsports had really good showings with us at Road America, as did Persing. Ryan Yardley, Crosslink Kiwi Motorsports. Now these don't have the hairs on, so they've been a little bit scuffed rain tires, you can see just from the grooves, but still have a lot of tread life in them. So it isn't until we get back to Marco Kasich, number 95, other than Matt Clark starting at the front, Marco Kasich has made the decision to go on slicks. And so, like we heard from Al Unser Jr., that might be a good long-term strategy as long as he's patient. Now watch out for the formation laps at this one. I've driven around Mid-Ohio, and we were pointing out all the places you can go off and high center in these low-slung cars. We've got 3 minutes on the grid, gentlemen. I'm going to hand it back to you, and this is going to be a crazy race here at Mid-Ohio Sports Car Course.
Brilliant stuff, as always, Ben Sissel, and that is exactly what I wanted to know, because the choice here, this is going to be a dramatic race as we look at Ryan Yardley, of course, who is in your team, Crosslink Kiwi Motorsport. And, of course, you know a lot of the guys out here right now. But it's going to be risky on slicks, but could it be a good decision?
Yeah, if the track dries up like they think it will, it could be a race-winning decision.
Yeah.
If Raul has to come in, Matt could walk away with the lead.
Well, Ryan, how's your weekend been? We were talking a little bit about the fact that you got a podium in the last race, but it's been up and down because you've had some great results, but then one went wrong.
Yeah, we had a really good race one, finished second, just ran out of time to try and get the lead, but still a really good result. Race two didn't really work out, had a bit of a racing incident, caused a puncture, so it really just turned to setting a lap time for the race three starting spot. And we started fourth in race three and finished third. So it was a pretty good weekend overall. I had a bit of a damaged car, a bit damaged wing in race three, and so it was good to get that result.
Because I was really impressed how you managed to stay on the pace, and because I thought Arturo Flores was going to come past you. Because when you see a damaged wing like that, I said as soon as he gets on the back straight, he's going to be history. But you managed to stay up, hold him off.
Yeah, I think just I think the cars behind him were trying to fight, and I think that really helped me. It looks like Mac isn't. Seems like he's not going.
He's got the start. He's got it in gear now. Okay, away he goes. Now, of the guys that you saw, the only one I saw was Mac. Is there anybody else, do you think, going to be on slicks?
I think there was a car towards the
One
back.
more car on the back. Okay.
Roll.
Well, we'll keep an eye on that. Let's have a look who's on what. But
it
that was a good description from Ben, because we want to know who's on what. It's a wet track out there right now, but they're expecting it to dry out, and it will dry quick. And I think, when you've got somebody who is a two-time IndyCar champion and a two-time Indy 500 winner in your corner, you kind of want to take his advice.
Yeah, for sure. That's a wealth of knowledge that you're going to want to take advantage of. So if I'm Mac right now, I'm probably, trusting him.
Yep.
Trusting that it's going to dry out and that this will be for the better.
Well, we'll soon find out. He's certainly taken a gamble, because it's a gamble I would have taken if I was at the back of the field, but whether I'd do it from second place. But he's had an up-and-down weekend, has Mac, so maybe it is the right thing to do to get back in the points and score some valuable points. Now, so far, this championship's been absolutely dominated by Raul Hyman, who is excellent. He's on great form at the moment, the 26-year-old, and, chasing like everybody is in this series, that special sponsorship to go all the way to Japan if you win. Honda offering something like worth $600,000 effectively in prize money to go and have an entry in a Honda machine at Super Formula in Japan. That doesn't get any better than that, does it?
Yeah, Raul's doing what every racing driver wants to do, is dominate. So, I think he's doing great. I think that if he does get that Super Formula seat, he'll definitely be competitive there.
So we know that Matt Clark's on slicks. We know most of the drivers that Ben pointed out were on, but I think there might be one more.
I think the 95
driver
is on slicks.
95,
okay.
Do you think?
Yeah.
All right, let's see. So that makes it was the 95. We can confirm that. So that is Marco Kasich. Is it Kasich or Kasich?
Kasich.
Well, Ryan, what would you prefer to be on?
I think right now, just looking out the window, it looks pretty dry.
Yeah, and it's
no
only a short
standing
race.
water, really. So I think I think a pit stop would be a lot of time to have to change 4 tires. I think slicks is what I would be on.
I think that's a magical decision, to be honest, and there's no way you're going to have time. I mean, you're going to have to go on the wets for the dry, and those wets are going to get hot, and they're going to start to deplete, and then they're going to stop giving you the grip that you want. So this could be a very interesting last race. Ryle Hyman on the wets and choosing to do so. He'll go for another formation lap by the looks of it.
Yeah, it looks like
we'll
it.
be able to see as they come past our commentary position. It's Jonathan Green and Ryan Shehan doing our first commentary stint together. I've known Ryan for a couple of years now, since he started out. So we think that, yes, now there are 4 drivers on the slicks. Marco Kasich is one of them. Arthira Rahman is the other on the 96. Mackenzie Clark we've already spoken about, and the other is Alex Kirby. So we have got almost half and half at the moment.
Yeah, I think it's probably a good decision to take another formation lap. Just let them, figure out the track, figure out some damp spots.
Well, I know that Ryle Hyman's got the experience to know that the wet tyres will heat up, and he can use the back straight here maybe to take special lines that will give him more wetness as the actual race line dries up. Because as you know, it doesn't take long. Once you get the heat of the cars and you get those tyres going on and you're all on the almost identical line, that it's going to be very quickly into a dry line. In fact, we can look at turn 1 and see that it's starting to dry there. So what Ryle's going to have to do is try to keep the temperature low as he can and keep those tyres as wet as he can to get the best performance out of it.
Absolutely. And I think that also the higher downforce of these cars will help spray up some water, get that off the racing line.
Ryan, this is your second season. Obviously, from the results, we can see you're moving forward. I remember you were getting top 20s last year. You had a pole position. I think it was 2 years ago now at VIR.
Last year.
Last year it was, okay. COVID's just rolled all into one for me. But I was there that day. It was a great day for you to get that pole position. But how much have you learned, and how much is this second season really paying off?
Yeah, I think just all the work we've done over the winter really made something click.
Yeah.
And we hit the ground running in NOLA.
What was that work?
It's just constant testing.
Okay.
Just, I think being comfortable with the car is the best thing you can, is the thing that makes the difference.
Yeah, I know. I don't know a racing driver in the world that says track time, track time, track time. That's all you need, and the more you get, the better you'll get.
Yeah, going from a kart to a car, it's very different, and so just getting comfortable with the weight, the aero is what makes the difference.
Interestingly, Matt Clark not doing any weaving, and that's smart as well, for the simple reason that if he starts weaving around trying to put more temperature in those tyres, he could easily get caught out on a wet patch, spin it round before he's even got caught, before he even gets to the start. Now, again, that's advice from Little Al there, because that is very interesting to point out that he, while everybody else is trying to get temperature into his tyres, Matt Clark of New Zealand is really, really just almost tiptoeing around the track on those slick tyres. Here we go then. And he's going to have to be careful from the start too, because he's going to have a wet starting position. But surely, I think, it's going to be hot enough, surely, to get a good, clean getaway?
Yeah, I think also it helps that he's on the racing line on the outside, where it's probably a bit drier, and so he might have a bit more grip at the launch.
All right, we're about to find out. Here we go then for the third and final race of the FR Americas Championship from Mid-Ohio. On the left-hand side is Matt Clark from Canada. In pole position, though, it's Ryle Hyman of Great Britain. On come the lights. Out go the lights, and away we go.
Seems like Mac's very, very easy on the start.
Yep.
Just trying to survive, it seems like.
And a good start from the 14 as well, as away they go into second place. And Mac's taking it gingerly at the moment, but he'll get the advantage later on. And he's dropped right back on those slick tyres, but that doesn't matter. Dylan Tavella's got a flyer. He's in second place as they dive into the big machine block of Spike Cooler's keyhole for the first time.
Yeah, it almost seemed like Mac might have had an issue, but it might just be him taking it easy. Yeah, letting them...
there's the first spinner. And two go round. Wow. So, well, are they on slicks? Are they not? So that's the 3 that spins round.
I think they were both on wets.
Yeah. I think that's Hayden Bowlesby, one of the spinners.
And I think Ryan Yardley was the other.
Ryan Yardley,
both on
the other.
Wets.
Oh, what a shame. Poor old Ryan Yardley. We know him well from Crosslink Kiwi Motorsport. Look at this. Wheel to wheel. Excellent stuff. And look at this, as they go. And he's very nearly gone off himself. This is treacherous conditions.
Yeah,
and will it pay off? I don't know.
You can see they're taking it easy and still almost going off the track. So that
Ryan,
just
here's
shows.
what's happened. Look, the 78 goes round. That's Yardley.
It's hard to tell if he just lost it by himself from that angle.
Yeah,
but
not easy. But Ryan Yardley, and I know I've watched him race for a few years. He's very proficient, and he's raced in the wet many times before. Ah, what a shame. And there you see it from that angle. All on their own, I'm afraid. But that was slick tyres for Bowlesby for sure.
Yeah, even in the dry, that area of the track can be slick, so I can only imagine it in the wet.
Well, we'll take a look at the times as they come through, but right now, in the lead, it's the 77, Jason Alder. And he came in here to do some commentary with me, and he's doing a really good job of putting some good lap times in, but out front, it's going to be that man of the moment. It's got to be Raoul Hyman and then Dylan Tavella. Tavella also had a couple of years in this championship and has been with us for a while now in this side of the world, as it were.
Yeah, it seems like Raoul's already pulled a 4-second gap.
Yeah.
Maybe pretty good start. And then seems like the fighting behind has just let him walk away. But we'll see if Dylan can maybe start to claw some of that back.
Marco Kasich on the slicks. He is currently in, sixth position, just ahead of Cooper Becklin, another one of the drivers from Kiwi Motorsport. I got to meet the 6'2" high jumper and his father, who used to race motorcycles. And he introduced me to Cooper. Nice kid, and looking forward as he heads to college very soon, but also continuing his racing career. And as you say, 4.6 seconds now, Raoul Hyman up the road in the 27, and he's dominated this championship over the season, and he's about to do it again here. Dylan Tavella will try to keep him honest, but he's a long way back. Nick Persing still third, then Jason Alder in fourth, and everybody spread right out now already, and we'll need a safety car to bring them all together. But I'm going to be interested to see just what Mackenzie Clark, Matt Clark as we call him, what kind of lap times he can put together as the track does dry out. Well, last time out, Clark did I haven't got a time on him yet. We're still waiting for the times to come in, but here comes Mackenzie Clark's time. Is he going to cross the line now in 10? No, he's dropped down to 10. There he is, yeah, 1:52. So he's not on the pace yet, but it might get better for him as the race comes down. There he is, just ahead of Bowlesby, who was one of the spinners. Bowlesby's caught up with him, though. Oh, another spinner. Of all people, Jason Alder caught out.
Yeah, falling back. That's going to be pretty far back. Looks like P8 from fourth after that spin.
Well, he's on now. It just shows you how tough the conditions are. He's on wet weather tires.
Yeah, absolutely. And this is someone who has been performing well this year. Race winner. Still the conditions catching him out.
Who's impressed you in the FR Championship?
I mean, obviously, Raoul has been borderline dominant this year.
Here we go. We get another chance
squirrely.
to take a look at that spin. There it is, and all on his own. And he did a good job of saving it, actually, didn't he?
Absolutely. Yeah, it could have been a lot worse. I think that was the best case scenario there.
Right, what an intriguing race. The conditions actually the worst they could possibly be because they're not wet, they're not dry, they're not one or the other, and it changes as you see each lap coming into play now, and this is getting very interesting. The field's at least spread out, so at least everybody can concentrate on their own deal, but it is tough, isn't it?
Absolutely. I don't think either tire is having a good time right now. I bet that the slicks are probably struggling to get some temperature with the water on track, and I'm sure that the wets are going to start to overheat pretty soon here.
Well, Jason Alder managed to recover, and he's still in seventh, and he's got ahead of Ryan Yardley. Alex Kirby's behind him. Then Clark, the man we were looking at just a moment ago, he just did his last lap at 1:38, so he's upping the pace dramatically now as the laps tick by. Just ahead of him, there is Ryan Yardley, who's recovered. Now, I think Ryan's actually on the wet weather tyres.
That's what it looks like
here.
Yeah,
he is. He's on the wet weather tyres. So let's see if Mackenzie can reel him in. And as you say, as it gets drier and drier, those wet weather tyres lose grip because they overheat and start to basically lose the grip that they had originally.
Yeah, absolutely. It is that in between where both tires are not really in their operating window. I think that the car right behind Yardley is on the slick, so that'll be a good comparison to see the pace difference.
Boy, Hyman is absolutely flying. He's got a 10-second lead as everybody else struggles behind him, but he's now moved it to 13 seconds ahead of Dylan Tavella. Tavella, of course, one of his arch rivals for the championship. Tavella had led the championship after Nola, but since then it's been all one-way traffic for Hyman, looking for his, fifth win? And, it'll be 6 wins, won't it? Out of 8, yeah. So really, really impressive start to his season, but he's not counting his chickens just yet. I know Raul, he's a very smart cookie. And he's really enjoying working with the TJ Motorsport team, run by Tim Neff. And there's the 29.
Yeah.
Nick Persing.
Yeah, he's sticking out of the halo. Almost makes it look like a go-kart.
I know, he's such a tall fellow, isn't he? Yeah.
Yeah, I can't help but make the car look small.
He does, yeah. He's just a tall guy. And he's been around a couple of years. Great kid. And learning his way. A bit like yourself, he's learned well over the years and just progressed each and every stage. Started off in F4 and now up to FR. Is that where you'd like to be next year?
Yeah, absolutely. That seems to be the logical next step for us. And so, yeah, we're looking to be in the FR paddock next year.
Well, they're taking some very leery lines there, being very careful indeed. So everybody tiptoeing around this Mid-Ohio circuit at the moment. And it's Hyman, Tavella, Persing, Becklin, Bowlesby, Kasich, Older down to 7th, Yardley's behind him, then Clark, Kirby, Ramanen in 11th, and then Janssen. And as you can see, as I predicted, Raul Hyman just sort of finding the wet spots now, basically, to basically keep those tyres in order. You can see them screeching, hear them screeching on the dry part. So whenever he gets to see some wet weather, he kind of just leans the car over towards them and makes sure that the tyres stay as wet as possible.
Yeah, for sure. He's just trying to make sure that that he can keep them alive as long as possible. He doesn't want them to start graining as the track starts to dry out.
Ramanen just in front of him. There's the 29, and that's Nick Persing again in 3rd position, but well out on his own at the moment.
Yeah, seems like we got a pretty good field spread. It'll be interesting to see as the sun starts to come out. When we're going to start to see the lap time switch and the slicks will start to go faster.
Yeah, no question. So it's going to be interesting how this battle changes as the race goes on. There's the 25 of Matt Clark on the slicks. He took that decision, or Alonso Jr. took the decision for him for Future Star Racing. But when you look at who he's been looking after, the likes of Bernie Francis Jr. now in Indy Lights, Chloe Chambers is another one from Rising Stars. And you can see he's getting a little wiggle on now and again, but he looks comfortable at least and starting to go faster and faster. His last lap of 1:31, and in fact now he's on the pace almost of the leader, Raul Hyman, on a 1:30 last time out. So he's now on the same pace, if not better, than those on the wet weather tyres, and he's just made up 1 place already there.
Yeah, it's starting to go by the drivers on the wet weather tyres, so I think it's that window starting to come in where the track has evolved to a point where slicks are the better option.
And Matt Clark is, another one of these guys that's got a big future ahead of him, as all of them do. But Mac, I remember meeting his father. He came running over to the commentary booth and wanted me to introduce himself and give me his bio. And, that's smart thinking, is to get the media on board, let them know who you are, go to the PR officer and be available. I know you've done a lot of work on that side of things, and it pays off. People know who you are, and people want to take attention, and they then want to sponsor you.
Absolutely. Sponsorship is how you get to sit in a race car.
Yeah.
So being good at communication, marketing.
Have you got any sponsors you want to shout out? Have you got any new ones this year?
We've kept Stilo.
Yep.
We've kept Lucky Design USA. We have.
What do they do?
Stilo has just been great with support with the helmets.
The helmet, of course, yeah.
Getting me hooked up with a new helmet this year for the USF Junior Series that we do on the side of the F4. We needed a different spec helmet, and so they were great with getting us hooked up with that.
That's cool.
And Lucky Design helping out with the paint job. The helmet is really the only thing you can see in these cars.
Yeah, no kidding.
And so it's important to look good.
Yeah. Another place made up then by the man on the slicks, Matt Clark, and making his way as anticipated. started second, had to go backwards. We knew that would happen with the wet weather, but now as it's drying and the sun's coming out, he's putting in the laps and he's going quicker and quicker with each and every lap. Ryan Shehan now does a 1:28.0, so he's up the pace as well. And as he comes through the carousel, we'll take a look at how Matt Clark is going on and moving forward. He's moved up to 6th place now, and his last lap faster than the leader, as anticipated, 1:27.9. I can see Al Jr. smiling from here. Good idea.
Yeah, there's 14 minutes left. We'll have to see how much time he can make up with that pace. So
may not be enough to get him right onto the podium, but it's going to get him right up there, and he should make some more news. He's got Hayden Bowlesby ahead of him, Cooper Becklin still in 4th, and Nick Persing holding on to that podium position at the moment. 13 minutes to go, so still quite a lot of time yet, and always a chance with another spin that somebody could create a full course yellow, and that will change things again. But here comes your leader.
Absolutely.
Perfectly timed there you go.
Absolutely. A safety car could bring the pack together, and I think Mac would be ready to pounce there.
These aren't always the most exciting races, wheel-to-wheel racing, but it's a real test of skill, isn't it?
Absolutely. It just shows who can really understand and feel comfortable in their car. In these conditions, you have to be in total control, total precision, and one mistake, as we've seen, can lead to you doing a 360, a spin, and you'll be fortunate to keep going.
Ryan, where are you looking forward to racing? Obviously at home in Austin, and that's going to be the culmination, and hopefully you'll be having a chance still to fight for the championship.
Absolutely. Coda's an amazing track, obviously the home track, so I always love racing there. But New Jersey looks like it'll be interesting. We haven't, F4 hasn't been in a while. So.
I know, give me a call. I know New Jersey because I've done bike racing there, and that's a tricky circuit. It's tough.
Yeah, I've seen.
It's a fast circuit, but it's there's a lot of it kind of winds around on itself, and that's going to be a challenge. You're going to enjoy that.
Absolutely, I've seen some video of it, and it just seems like you need commitment to go fast there.
So the 77 of Jason Alder, he's now going quicker as well. He just did a 1:32.4 on his last lap, and his best lap was that last lap. So Alder in 9th position, trying to flew in on Matt Clark. Now you can see the sun coming out from the drone. Wonderful shots from the drone all weekend long. And it really has changed the perspective. You can see it for yourself, Ryan. It's great to be able to watch the racing from above and really see how the race is unfolding.
Absolutely. You can start to see the dry line start to form from that aerial shot. So it'd be a bit worrying for Matt Clark if he goes a little bit outside of that on those slicks, but if he can stay precise, I think he'll be golden.
Yeah, precision is going to be the key for him in these varying conditions. That's the only way you can describe it, because there is a full dry line now on this part of the circuit, and then still just a few wet patches here and there, which he's got to be careful about. But pretty much, as you can see through the carousel from high above, it's a dry line completely.
Yeah.
Passes our commentary position.
Yep, seems like one car width is the dry line, so overtaking might be a bit of a challenge, a bit risky. But
yeah, and at the moment he's quicker than the leader, so he just did a 26.8.
Yeah,
so impressive.
About 0.3 to half a second faster, so he's definitely making up time.
Yeah, and you could see it there. Clark 0.6 behind the man in front of him, Bowlesby. And here's your leader, Ryan Shehan. It's been a picture-perfect weekend, pole position at every race weekend so far, and it's even made more impressive by the fact that he's raced none of these circuits before.
Absolutely, it's his first time to all these tracks, as we see him searching for the wet spots. But yeah, it just kind of shows how much skill he really has, that he can pop in this car and go to these tracks he's never been before, and then dominate.
So down the back straight he goes, and into the famous turn 4. That we call the Franklin Road Apparel Turn 4 this weekend, and then into 5 and down the hill into the S's.
Yeah, I'm sure that these sections down here are probably the most troubling, as they're downhill. I'm sure water was starting to pool up there, but it seems like it's starting to dry off now.
And you can see Raoul's now starting to slip slide under those tires as they start to go off, and he's got really no way of getting any more wet patches because he's running out of them.
Yeah, we can see there on the drone shot, almost the whole track is drying out now. So he's going to be searching for that to cool off his tires.
Well, he's done a heck of a job of putting the gap on Dylan Tavella, because Tavella's on the same tires, but he's struggling to stay on the pace that Hyman is creating. Ooh, see, that was a smart move.
In the grass for the wet. That is a smart move. It's
and
impressive.
a risky one, too, because if he'd have put too much power down or gone just a little too wide, that could have really upset the car. Now he's going to try it on the left-hand side. Ah, look at that. He's found some wet patches. This is really smart driving, folks. It may look odd at first, but when you understand what he's actually trying to do, it's very, very clever indeed.
Really shows off his experience at this level. Obviously, he took a break from racing, but it seems like he still kept that all that knowledge from his previous days.
Yeah, no question about it. And that is smart racing driving, and not easy in these conditions that are varying, and you see the difference in the experience. But that's why Ryle Hyman is so far up the road, so to speak, as we continue to watch his progress. And like I said, the prize money of going to Japan, just as Pierre Gasly did, as Alex Palou did, and so many others in the past have done and made it to the top of their game. Alex, of course, winning in IndyCar most recently, and Pierre Gasly continuing to be a real factor in Formula One these days, having been a Red Bull driver and now currently leading the AlphaTauri team.
Absolutely. It's a legitimate opportunity to reach the upper echelon of motorsports.
Where do you want to go?
Obviously, Formula One is almost every racing driver's dream. 17.
So you got plenty of time. 17, that's perfect. You've already got a couple of years under your belt. You're doing a couple of series. You're getting the testing in the winter. So you're doing everything right.
Absolutely. It seems like Matt Clark has caught up to Persing and made the move.
Look at that.
Up to fourth.
So Persing in fourth place, losing out to Matt Clark, who now takes over fourth place. Can he catch Cooper Becklin, who's just ahead? You can see it from the drone. Now there's time, I would have said, with 7 minutes and 40 seconds to go, just under, for Matt Clark to maybe make the podium, and that would be a brilliant achievement.
Absolutely. He's kept it on track, kept it clean through pretty tough conditions, so I think that would be a great achievement for him.
Really, really impressive. So then, Future Star Racing doing a good job. There is the 91. I feel for Cooper Becklin because he could do with a podium too. And he hasn't had as many as the others, but he'll have to hold on. But I think he's on the wet weather tyres, and now he's just going to be a passenger, really. His lap time, his best lap time, a 1:26.7. But Matt Clark just did a 1:25 dead, so he's a lot quicker, and we'll probably see it here. Here we go. Matt Clark of Canada reeling in Cooper Becklin. And he's going to make it look easy if he's not careful. No, can't quite do it yet. Becklin holding on.
A bit too far back. It's obviously a bit more difficult to overtake in these cars around here. Going faster, bigger cars, more aero.
What he's got to be careful of, he might be faster, but he's got to be careful he doesn't hit a wet patch while he's trying to overtake and goes offline, because it's one thing to stay on the race line, but when you're overtaking, you have to go off race line sometimes.
Absolutely. I think he can be careful here. I don't think he has the time to catch Tavella and Hyman.
Personally, I'd wait till I got through the carousel and then do it on the straight. You can see he's struggling too. Becklin trying to stay on the asphalt here and trying to maintain that third place, but here comes Matt Clark. He looks to the inside, and on that main straight, as I kind of anticipated, he's going to make a move on the inside at turn one. He does jink to the inside, doesn't quite get it done, but he's got another chance at the keyhole.
Yeah, I could definitely see those wet weather tires are struggling. Probably overheating, probably graining. So I'm sure he's just trying to bring it home at this point.
This for the podium, remember. This is what we've been waiting for. A really good battle in the last 5 minutes, and here comes. Out of the keyhole they go. And surely the slick tires should get the better grip and should be faster down this back straight, and they are. Becklin trying to use the wet patches, trying to keep those wet weather tires intact. But here comes Matt Clark. Mac the Knife, scything through the field. Nicely done. Oh, he's not Becklin doing a really good job here of holding on to his position. But can he keep doing it? No, finally he's got through. Matt Clark goes into third place. Now can Cooper come back at him, I wonder? They've got some traffic ahead. Good driving, though, yeah?
Absolutely, keeping it clean. Obviously, neither of them are, it's not the perfect track yet. Both probably slipping and sliding a bit, so it was impressive to keep it clean through there.
Well, Dylan Tavella's probably having the loneliest race in second place. Beckland's not giving this up yet, has he?
No, he's still hanging with him here. Might be able to have an opportunity on the straight with the toe to get back at him.
So then, at the moment, Ryle Hyman with a huge lead of some 30 seconds ahead of Dylan Tavella. We're watching the battle between Mackenzie Clark and Cooper Beckland. Beckland losing out at the moment in the 91. But it's not over yet. We've got a good full 4 minutes yet into the keyhole. Once again, the big machine vodka spike coolers keyhole. And out he goes. He's got to be so careful now not to make any mistakes.
Absolutely. Don't think he'll have time to catch Tavella, and so it's just about holding position here, not making mistakes, and bringing it home.
Nick Persing has dropped down to, 5th place, and Ryan Yardley's gaining on him. Ryan Yardley currently in 6th place. Hayden Bowlesby 7th. Jason Alder dropping to 8th. Not been an easy race for Jason after that spin.
Yeah, it's been a pretty good recovery from Yardley and Bowlesby after those lap 1 spins to get back up to 6 and 7.
Well, there's the loneliest man in racing, Dylan Tavella from New York. And I know Dylan, the curly-haired, boisterous one.
Yeah, sometimes these races can be the toughest just because it's hard to stay focused when nothing's happening around you. But you don't want to make any mistakes. You just want to maintain that gap.
But he's driving smart, too. He knows he can't catch Ryle Hyman. Not at this pace. He'll have looked at his board. He'll know that Mack is coming, but he's got plenty of room at the moment. The gap between them some 48 seconds, so he's got no worries. He just needs to keep doing what he's doing, keep his head. 2 minutes and 54 seconds, and that's all it takes. But this is where it gets tough, isn't it?
Absolutely. You get into a rhythm, and then sometimes something can happen. Maybe you see the white flag, and that's when you start to realize that
I got this.
No mistakes.
Well, you just come out of a very, very impressive race where you had damage to the car, where the wing could have fallen off at any moment. I'm sure it didn't feel good, but you just kept plowing on. Were you talking to your engineer, or were you just getting on with it?
Yeah, we were getting some motivating words from him, telling him it's not going to fall off, just keep going. And we were able to hold on to it. It never really was a worry. After a few laps, it felt fine.
Good.
Bit loss of some front end grip, but other than that, it wasn't terrible.
Now, what's going on with 8 here? He's got something going on in the cockpit. This is Alex Kirby. I was just seeing something flapping underneath the halo there of the number 8. Watch this. Look. So something has come loose, and I'm not quite sure what it is. It's not the halo, obviously. That's a metal bar, but it looks as though something like a strap or some sort of flap.
Possibly could have been the harness.
Yeah.
Sometimes those do fly up, very annoyingly. But
yeah. Good little battle between these two.
Two teammates, I believe.
Yep. So, Ryle Hyman, again, dominating proceedings here as he has all weekend. It's been the perfect weekend in many ways. And now, look at this. Cooper Beckland coming back now. And this battle for the podium continues. And I thought Mackenzie Clark was going to roll off into the distance, but it hasn't happened just yet. And there's going to be one lap after this.
Seems like Beckland's kind of been rejuvenated. He's gotten his life back.
Well, the white flag does wave, so they'll see it too themselves as they come into 4. And are we getting some more rain? I wonder. I can hear rain in some of the cameras.
Yeah, it does look like it. We have some more rain.
That would change everything, possibly. Final lap then. And there is your leader, Ryle Hyman, and he's in traffic now.
So, yeah, it seems like he's not taking...
And the rain has come down, and sadly for Mac Clark, he's gone off, and no wonder. He's got slick tyres, and that has just played into Cooper Beckland's hands. And sadly, the plan that, well, you couldn't have predicted that. That was so close. I mean, another 30 seconds, he'd have been free and at the checkered flag.
Yeah.
Now Hyman's got to be careful too.
Absolutely.
Oh, it's dodgy. Oh, and another off. Oh.
Yeah, the two
cars going off.
I think those were two of our slick runners. So
Marco Kasich has also gone off at the 95.
definitely struggling out there.
Yeah, just at the worst possible time, at the white flag of all things. But Raoul Hyman's going to hang on.
I mean, you have to feel for Mac there.
Yeah,
he did everything right. The track dried up for him. He put in the work, and then the rain started.
Yeah, the rain started on the very last lap. Now, will Hyman make a mistake, or will he keep on going? I've got a feeling he's going to be just A-okay. But here he is. Coming out of the distant rain now is Raoul Hyman. He slowed down the pace. You can see him almost crawling around now. He's being very careful, and that's smart work.
Absolutely, just making sure he can bring it home for the win.
He's got no grip, either wet or dry at the moment, but it's enough to take him to the checkered flag. Raoul Hyman from Great Britain wins again in the 27, and that's TJ Motorsport doing the business.
We can
Team
really
F and the boys.
We can really see the rain coming down now as the rest of the field comes around.
Well done to TJ Speed. Excellent run by Raoul Hyman, and I asked you who you were inspired by, and I can see why. Raoul Hyman absolutely on it this year and headed towards that Honda scholarship if he keeps this up here in America.
Absolutely. Any kind of weather, any track, he just performs. And
he's learning every time.
Absolutely. This is his first time in this car, first time at these tracks, and he's dominating.
Where else are you going? We mentioned COTA. Where else are you racing? Virginia?
Yes, Virginia, VIR.
And New Jersey.
And New Jersey. Those are always...
So you've raced VIR, you've been pole there, so you're going to be confident there and confident in Austin. We got this.
Yeah, absolutely.
We got this.
Love VIR, love Austin. So, yeah, we can see even on the end lap he's a little squirrely, so it just shows how treacherous it is out there.
Yeah. Well, there was plenty of highlights to talk about. Let's see them. Race 3, the feature race of FR. Well, we started off in drying and wet conditions because the track was drying. So some chose wets, some chose slicks. And that was the reason why they were kind of being tentative at first. And we had several spinners, Bowlesby being one of them. Then a smart and delicate move by Matt Clark to go on slicks. And it wasn't paying off early on, but Raoul Hyman on the wet tyres was streaming away from Dylan Tavella in second place. Now, once it dried out, this man in the 25, Matt Clark from Canada, was flying. And he got all the way up to, third place at one point. Cooper Becklin put up the biggest fight, but once he got past him, he looked as though he was in great form. But suddenly, another deluge right on the very penultimate lap, and that caused him to go off. But it was no problems for Raoul Hyman, who wins again in Mid-Ohio.
Yeah, it was impressive from
Very
Raoul.
impressive, yeah.
Almost a 51-second lead at the very end. So, yeah, definitely a masterclass from him.
Yeah, I'd be interested to see what he says to John Phippen in the wet. Hopefully he can find a dry spot to have a chat with him. But nice weekend now. Those are the weekends you live for. And like yourself, congratulations. You've had a great weekend.
Thank you. Yeah, a weekend like that is definitely what every racing driver wants.
Sadly, that's not where you want to end up.
No, not on the end lap.
No. So, do you know where you stand in the championship? Either way, it's been a good one, but it's going to move you up the points, isn't it?
Yeah, I'm not quite sure where we are exactly, but it's definitely a good haul of points.
Good.
Could have been a bit better with a good haul in race 2, but we'll take what we can get here.
Well, I've said it all along. I have been waiting for 12 years for a young man from Austin to start making it in the ranks. You're the man I've got my eye on. Tell us your social. Tell us where we can find you. Tell people out there watching how they can follow your progress.
Yeah, we're on pretty much any social media site. Instagram, Facebook, Twitter, LinkedIn. Yeah, at Ryan Shehan Official or at Ryan Shehan Race. That's where you can find me. Also, RyanShehan.com is the website. So, yeah, go check it out.
Dad, Doug, if you're listening, he's doing the business both in and out the car here at Mid-Ohio. I'm proud of him, and I'm sure you are too. Well done, Ryan, and well done this weekend. Best of luck next time out. We'll be watching, and we'll be waiting for you in Austin. We'll have a greeting committee for you. Thanks for coming in. Sadly, those cars didn't make it to the end, but well done to Raoul Hyman, who wins here in the 27. Dylan Tavella takes second place, and Cooper Becklin gets a podium. Great stuff. I'm sure his dad, I met early in the weekend, will be delighted with that too. Well done. Don Becklin will congratulate you as well, because your boy did the business. Ugh, horrible out there now, isn't it? I wouldn't want to be sat there sulking.
Yeah, I would not want to be out there. Seems like it is two of the slick runners.
Yeah. Well, there's Raoul Hyman. Looking concerned, but he shouldn't be. So let's head down. John Fippen's got the mic, and he's going to talk to our winner, Raoul Hyman.
We've got our winner in a very damp victory circle, ladies and gentlemen. Raoul, it's pouring down rain, but you are our rainmeister, my friend. You made the right choice on tires, but wet, dry, you were able to get it done with a 30-second margin of victory.
I mean, look, not a rainmeister. It's none of that. It's the grace of God, and thank you. Appreciate it. Yeah, I mean, in those kind of conditions, especially at the end there, it's hard to just stay on the track, and you know, I think it's unanswered to prayer. Honestly, it is. At the start of the race, I really thought it was slicks. When I looked out, I saw that it was drying, and I thought we've not made the right call, and it was too late. So actually, we had 2 formation laps. I thought maybe we stop on the first formation lap and then just try and do our best to come through. But then when I saw the back straight, I thought, okay, just stay out, it'll dry, but try and pull as much of a lead as you can, because when the slicks come in, they're usually about 6 to 8 faster. So they told me it was like 20, 30 seconds or whatever it was, and I thought it's not enough, because that's like 3 laps or 4 laps, and they'll be on me. So kept pushing.
Congratulations.
Well, we come to a rather wet ending to our Mid-Ohio weekend, but it's been a great weekend of racing here at the Vintage Grand Prix of Mid-Ohio. It ends in the rain that didn't come for most of the day, but it's come now, and finally we finished. But Raoul Hyman is the hero of my weekend for sure. He has done the business yet again in FR Americas. Could he be a big name to watch, following in the footsteps of Alex Palou and Kyle Kirkwood and many others who have gone on to bigger and better? My thanks to Ryan Shehan for joining me here in the booth. Keep that name in mind too. From Austin, Texas, born in Horseshoe Bay, could be the next man who is going for big things in motor racing. I hope you've enjoyed the weekend. My thanks to all our staff here at Greenlight Television and everybody here at Mid-Ohio. We'll be back from Road America for Trans Am, but stay with us for the Speed Tour. More action to come throughout the season. From me, Jonathan Green, and from everybody here, bye-bye for now.
When the finish line calls, we answer. Hit the road with insurance protection from Hagerty. Whether you drive a built racer, sports car, or exotic, and save an average of $264. Get a quote today at Hagerty.com. When the road calls, we answer. With our guaranteed value, unparalleled service and expertise, and savings of $264 on average, Hagerty has you covered no matter what's around the bend. Get a quote today at Hagerty.com.